Hey folks, I seen some flaws in my last video at the end in my rush to get it out, so I'm gonna make it up to you by showing you what a Goyim really is. So this is the writings. It became the footnotes. It's the writings at the bottom, and the nations would be told, the people would be told that that's the what the picture is. That's the name of the picture. And that's why you see a lot of times that the same person, their name would be spelled a little different. But the skilled alchemist, he was looking at the picture and reading his book, and he was breaking that word down. He could actually read the word down there, and he was decoding something out of that, and he was getting something totally different out of this artwork than the people were. So I was just looking for examples to post up here, but best chances are that painting at the bottom is the one actually being described here. And it's saying to make cycles, to learn the waters begin to fold, to learn the time, to follow the waters, learn the writings of the fire seed work, the stars, and these foot connected writings. I don't read all these Egyptian hieroglyphs. I read some. I don't want to try to cram too many more languages in my head right now. But if anybody can read that, I'd love to hear what it has to say. I'm not real interested in reading to you what all this says. I'm interested in teaching you how to read this books. So if something should happen to me, it doesn't die with me. So first we learn to make the ore, the knowledge of the moon cycles, and then we learn to make the connection to the divided fires fold, or the seals to write about celestial. And the reason this is so hard to read is because this is the final book. This is your 8th year doctors. You know, only the top alchemist was reading this one. It's hard for me to read, and it's really hard to explain without the pictures. It takes forever. I had to scrap the last movie. It was getting too long. But I ordered some books that'll be coming in, and we'll come back to this. But we're going to move on to something a whole lot easier. But I wanted to answer this question here for everybody and help you get an idea. So if you were wanting to know how I got to this point, and it's because I was born with a mental defect. In a perfect world, it wouldn't be a problem. But anytime I'm talking to somebody and they telling me a lie, my brain shuts down. I can't hear anything else they say. So I was young. My mama made me go to the Catholic Church, and I couldn't stand it. It didn't make sense. They couldn't answer any of my questions. So I just stared at the architecture. I studied the architecture and the windows, and turns out that's where all the truth is. These were ancient healing centers, and they had specialists come in and design them to make sure the acoustics was just right. And then they came in and put all this artwork from the Mother's Bible or from the Book of the Art that had the codes for the medicinal plants in it. All this language change just happened within the past 500 years. So we're going to move on to the New Testament. It's a lot easier to read, and all this artwork we're looking for is still here in this Montreal Cathedral. As for documents, after about 10 pages I saw that in order to put all this in English, I couldn't carry the book. The knowledge comes from learning the language. The Rosicrucians have the best and most knowledge, but they're not telling their people the whole truth either. So I get all my information from decoding what ancient writings I can find, from the Akashic records, and from the spirit that lives in my head. As for recommendations for spiritual alchemy, I like Tobias Lars, and for meditations, I like Paul Santisi. I was really wanting to stay away from this. I live in South Mississippi. We were just elected the most fanatical religious place in the world, and Alabama and Louisiana beside me came in number 2 and 3. So I may have to go into hiding. We get a double shot of chemtrails down here. It's hard to breathe. So what you're looking at is the new Eye of Ra, and this is where they hid their secrets. You have to know the code, and everybody looks at it and they read the Goyim underneath, and they say Jesus. But the skilled alchemist is reading all this, and he knows what this means. So in order to read any of this, you got to start with the title of the book to understand what you're reading. And this kata at the top, this means to give the knowledge seals to learn. It kind of means book. And this Matheon, it's telling where it comes from. And it's from the knowledge seals collected to learn the works of light. That ON is to see cycles. And these ancient people, they knew a lot more than we think they did. They had a total understanding of electromagnetivity and frequency. They knew a lot more than we do today. So this is Matthew 1:1, and I put a blue line through everything that they misinterpreted. And all the names in the Bible, they're all names of writings or books. There's only one person in the Bible, and it's you, the reader, is the only person it's talking about. So the first 15 lines or so, you got all the words right here, and all you have to do is read out what the names and make the title of a book out of it, and you'll see what it says. And these other words are all fit in between the same words. The Ton, writings of light, are writings to see the cycles, and that's when you make light, is when you're able to see the cycles and understand. This agenison, it would have meant to give birth by divide seed. It would have meant more of a mother spitting a baby out, and this DE is through thee, and what it's saying is the secrets in the book of Abraham you can find in book of Isaac, and the secrets in Isaac you can find through the book of Jacob. And it's the same as the Old Testament. You're going to find the secrets in Genesis at the end of Exodus, and the secrets of Exodus you're going to find in the next book all the way through. So from what I'm reading, I'm pretty sure that God wrote the book. And when I asked the God that created me, did Isaac begat Jacob or not? He's not going to scratch his head and say, well, moreover, because I'll probably slap him. My medication must be wearing off there. So you can see on the left, that's some of the words, the different words they got meaning begat. And you can see how many times this moreover is put in there. So when you run into the word apostle, apocalypse, anything starting with the APO, that means the knowledge picture to see. Apostellas. And that's a paint you're missing. You can see that somebody's working really hard to try to hide something from us here. And this word ego is one of the few words that they've got right, and that's alchemy, and you're taking yourself apart and learning all about yourself and putting yourself back together the way it should be, and your ego is the last thing you construct. So if y'all use that same letter chart I put in the first video in this series, and you've got 2 extra letters, and that psi is just the letter for plants, and they separate it in 2 different words for the psychotics, and the omega being we're at the end of the cycles. And I'm going to go get some Mexican food, and I'm going to get this up, and maybe I'll get another one up by morning. And I'll show y'all what this emerald tablet here has to do with Osiris's penis. Good day.